What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I wanted to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's happening to the market in this intraday update video and then talk about something very important, at least for the data that just came out. But before I begin the devil's information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very soon. Anyways, now let's break down what's happening to the market. Right now, SPY is very indecisive. It's actually, we saw this big sell off that happened amidst all the data that was released from the services PMI report. And what happened was, going back to the chart here, you will notice that all this data that was released caused this sell off because the services prices have gone up quite a bit. And this could be very positive for inflation. So we'll just have to see if this affects it. Besides that, everything else is very close to expectations. Now, Jerome Powell was trying to calm everyone down by talking about how the data was looking, but he mentioned that they're going to need a lot more data to come in soft in order for them to continue to cut rates. They are open to doing it, of course, but the exact timing at which they're going to cut rates is still to be determined. So, besides that, all of that's still affecting the markets, causing this little sell-off that happened. But now SPY has tried to rebound. So, if you look at the chart right here, SPY came very close to this 490 area. Then we got bought back up above 491.5. And we're still trying to hold up. So we had this imbalance down here. It actually filled a little bit lower than what I was expecting, but it still made its way back up. And now we're just shuffling in this 493 area, going back and forth and back and forth. SPY is still very indecisive. So when it comes to how the market's going to move going forward, don't forget we have Palantir's earnings, just a couple more earnings coming out. We also have Snap coming out tomorrow. I know a lot of people are going to be watching that. Not to mention PayPal and Disney and a few others later on. So with that being said, that's it for earnings. There's not really a whole lot coming out besides Palantir later on today. Now let's just talk about SPY and focus on this. What's going on with this? Right now, it's very choppy, very indecisive. It's trying to determine if it's going to just try to hold and get this bounce off this 492.5 area. In order for this to pan out, we need to see this thing break above 493.5. A break above this could push this right back up into this resistance zone up here. So if we manage to get above 493.5, we're going to be looking for a bigger push to the upside to these higher levels of resistance and this gap to get filled from the pre-market into the 494s. If we reject right here, well, it's not just about a rejection. It's also about, do we hold above 492.5 or not? If we reject and lose 492.5, expect a bigger pullback to be coming all the way back down towards the low 491s. So you can see how well SPY has been kind of respecting a lot of these levels. We do have some resistance right here, though, at this 493.5 area. But besides that, it's been holding up quite decently. So we're going to be watching this to see how well it's holding, or if we get this rejection. That's why I want to watch this resistance right here at 493.5. We're starting to reject right now, but just to be safe, make sure you watch your levels and just know that it's looking a little bit weak. So watch and see if this ends up holding or not, and watch 492.5, at least for the time being. Now, another thing that's very significant is one of the reasons why I had the 5 minutes time frame up is because SPY bounced off the 50 EMA. This is going to be a key support to watch for. So if we get this rejection here, we have these supports here. You guys can see them on my right side, but it's going to be 492.68. That's going to be our next level. So this 492.5 area. That zone down there is going to be our key support if we do end up getting a big rejection and we end up losing this support. So watch that carefully. See if we hold that level or not. If we lose this 492.5 area, a bigger drop is coming. If we hold it, we're just going to shuffle for some time. So just want to call that out. Now for SPY, in my opinion, not SPY, sorry, Tesla. How is Tesla looking up next? So Tesla's not looking that great. Every time we hit this resistance, it's a rejection, 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 a big rejection. And we got a very aggressive sell off all the way down to about 175 a share. We came all the way down there amidst our loss of 180 and 178. So it's not a good sign for Tesla. Now, right now, Tesla's trying to climb its way back up as buyers are trying to defend it. But I'm still going to be very careful with Tesla because of the fact that how the market could drag it down. SPY is approaching a very, very extreme resistance near 500. And also because we're getting a lot of bad news for Tesla. There was bad news about Elon Musk, Bad news about Tesla cutting some prices. They also raised some prices in the US, but for the Model Y, we actually saw some cuts. So very mixed pricing for Tesla. On top of that, we also saw a lot of bad news involving their sales in California. So the media was just going crazy about that. But if anything, the bad news caused this thing to drop all the way down to 175. So we have this resistance to be watching for at 182.5. Now we have support at 180, 178, and 175. We're starting to reject a little bit, so watch and see how well we could hold 180. And right now, I don't really care about what we do intraday. Let's just see if we could close above 180 or not. If we close above 180, there's going to be some hope for bulls. If we lose it, a bigger drop is coming to Tesla, guys. So be very careful. Let's see how well it holds 180. What about for the QQQ? On the triple Q, we have resistance around 429, and we have our key support at 427. If we lose 427, our next key support is going to be closer to 425. We're starting to reject off 429, so we're starting to actually come back down to 427 towards the breakout area. But we're kind of shuffling at the same time around 428. So if we reject and lose 428, watch 427.25. Upon losing that, there's going to be a bigger drop coming. So if we lose the 427s, our next key level will be all the way down here. So you want to be very careful at that level. Right now, we're shuffling in the 428, so we'll see how well this could hold. I also want to call out that on the QQQ, on the 5 minutes time frame, we have these supports over here to be watching for, especially our 200 EMA. That's going to be a key support in the 427s, so watch that very carefully in the 5-minute time frame. Otherwise, this thing has just been shuffling for now. So right now it's shuffling, but if we reject, make sure you watch this key support as 427.25 area. That's going to be key for it. Otherwise, we're just kind of stuck going back and back and forth, which is something it may continue to do. So watch and see if we get this rejection or not. Otherwise, we're just going to be stuck between these levels. For Nvidia has been critical. Nvidia is holding up very, excuse me, very, very nicely, continuing to hold up, trying to push up higher and higher. And the question is, how will this move going forward? So, got this nice little push to the upside on Nvidia, approaching 693, rejected, came back up. 692 is kind of like where we rejected. And now we're just trading sideways at 687. So, if we're bullish, if you want to be bullish, you want to see this thing basically break out above this high right here. If we break this high, a bigger push is going to be coming towards 700. And if we lose 685-ish, we're going to be coming all the way down to 680, then 675. In my opinion, I think Nvidia is going to try to get to 700 by the next couple of days. So it might shuffle like this a bit, but I think the 700s are coming. So I still think that there's more potential upside potential for Nvidia, and it might actually help the QQQ try to pump. I think Nvidia is holding up nicely. We're still holding up at these high levels, still near our all-time highs. So look for more potential upside as time goes on. Last but not least, for Apple stock. Apple, I called this out, guys. I said we have an inverse head and shoulders like structure on Apple. This thing might either come down and bounce or just bounce from here. Now it's pushing, looking very, very nice. So if it keeps going, we're going to be looking for this resistance towards one. Basically, we have 189 as resistance. Break above that, then we have 190 coming next. And then if we break above 190 to 190.5, our next target is going to be very close to about 192. So it's looking bullish. Watch 189.3 as resistance. If we break this, we're going to be reaching the very low 190s. And for support, make sure you watch 188. If we lose this, a bigger drop is going to be coming. So we'll be watching this. We'll see how this ends up looking. And we want to be very, very careful with how things are looking for Apple. But Apple is still favoring the bulls. We got a nice recovery run, making higher highs and higher lows. Going to look for a breakout into the low 190s. So it's favoring the bulls now. This is helping the market push. Watch Apple very carefully and do what you have to do, guys. So that being said, Apple and Nvidia are some stocks that have more upside potential. Another stock I want to call out is Google. I called out Google earlier. It's still holding up decently. Got this little rejection with SPY, but when you zoom out, I just want to call out Google because I think there's more upside potential for this. We have this big imbalance up here, but it may take a week or two, but I do think we could eventually get all the way up here to fill this gap. So we're going to be watching resistance on Google. I do see some upside potential for that. And then besides that, SPY is still indecisive, not looking as strong as like Apple and the others. So we're gonna be watching our resistance and see if this thing can try to like push even higher. Now it's still showing some life after consolidating. So watch SPY carefully. And same thing with Tesla. Be very careful with Tesla. I just want to give you guys a warning about that after all the bad news that keeps coming out. So just be careful and do what you have to do, guys. I will definitely see you guys very soon on the next one in just a couple of hours. Thank you and peace out.